Cristiano Ronaldo, the subject of our next discussion, because Manchester United have refused to budge from their hard-line stance that Cristiano Ronaldo must stay at Old Trafford after an opening round of talks with their unsettled striker ended in impasse yesterday. Not even the presence of Sir Alex Ferguson could help reach a breakthrough as Ronaldo ended his self-imposed exile and returned to the training ground on Tuesday morning. It is understood that a day of negotiations ended with the Portuguese forward still entrenched in his wish to quit the club, but in response United have been equally adamant that they will not move from their position that the 37-year-old will form part of the new manager Erik ten Hag's first team plans in the coming season. It all sounds a bit of a mess, a bit of a circus at just the wrong time. So what next, Alex Crook? Where do we go from here?
Well, it's become a game of high-stakes poker, hasn't it? And it's who blinks first, really. I think you're right. It has become a circus. A circus, by and large, led by the Ronaldo camp and in particular by Jorge Mendes. I get the impression Manchester United, as a football club, are a bit sick and tired now of having to field questions almost on a daily basis about the whereabouts and about the thinking of Cristiano Ronaldo. I heard you speaking to Jordan Davies yesterday from The Sun, and he was right to suggest, I think, that Manchester United saw Ronaldo returning to Manchester as a possible breakthrough. Clearly, the information that we've been getting out of Carrington since those talks yesterday, that we're still at a bit of an impasse. We still don't know when Ronaldo will return to training. He did fitness tests on his own, is my understanding, yesterday. There's a behind-closed-doors match coming up against Wrexham that he's not expected to feature in. Will he be in the squad for the first game of the season against Brighton? I would suggest at the moment that is highly unlikely. But there is one big problem here for Jorge Mendes and for Cristiano Ronaldo. He can say as many times as he likes that he wants to leave the football club. He needs to find someone willing to take him on. At the moment, the super clubs, the Champions League clubs that he yearns to play for, aren't forthcoming. Again overnight, Oliver Kahn at Bayern Munich has said he doesn't fit the way that we want to play. Paris Saint-Germain are not following up the owner's interest. So the question for Ronaldo, with Thomas Tuchel also not interested in taking him to Stamford Bridge, despite the fact they don't really have an out-and-out striker now on their books, who is going to sign Cristiano Ronaldo? And the answer at the moment is nobody. So I think he needs to get his head around it fairly quickly, that he's going to have to find a way to settle for the fact that he will be playing Europa League football for Manchester United this season and not in the Champions League as he desires.
As I understand it, they're going to Oslo as well to play a pre-season friendly, ironically, against Atletico Madrid, one of the clubs that they were linked with, or Cristiano Ronaldo was linked with, and their fans reacted rather furiously to the suggestion that he might pitch up at the Wanda Metropolitana. This is embarrassing, Trevor, isn't it? What is Ronaldo playing at? He's got himself into an absolute hole, isn't it? Because ultimately he's a trinket that owners want so they can sell shirts and sign big commercial deals, but coaches do not. Why?
I can understand why a coach might not want him to leave, but I can also, on the flip side of that, understand why, if I was Erik ten Hag, I would be happily letting him go to another club, because...
Yeah, but the question was, Trevor, why is it that owners want him so that they can sign big commercial deals, but coaches of big clubs do not? Why don't they want him?
Well, owners definitely want him, obviously, because he generates an awful lot of money. We've seen the situation with Barcelona since Lionel Messi left there, and I think they had 40 or 60 sponsors now, and it's down to 18. And that's since Messi has left the new camp. Managers, I can't understand why a manager wouldn't want him, apart from the way that he's acting now. At the end of the day, no player is bigger than a football club, but the way that he set his stance out, he doesn't need any money, so he can sit there. But the fact of the matter is, Manchester United own his registration. He signed that contract, and he should be... you should honour that contract, and I'm not sure whether Brian Robson and Sir Alex Ferguson being at Carrington was anything to do with it, because I think there was a scheduled board meeting anyway. But the fact that they were there and still nothing could be done shows that, one, Ronaldo's digging his heels in, but also two, Manchester United are saying, listen, you've signed this contract, we want you to be part of the plan for this season, and we want you to play football. And at the end of the day, he's almost thrown his toys out the pram and saying, well, I'm Cristiano Ronaldo and I want it my way, and if it's not my way, then we possibly could see a situation where Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't play football until this is resolved.
Do you think that Manchester United really want Cristiano Ronaldo to stay, Alex? I mean, does Erik ten Hag really need that burden on him going into the new season? Everything seems to be going okay at the moment on pre-season tours and coming back to Carrington. This is just an unnecessary distraction. Actually, it might be better all round if they do just let him go.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, and I don't agree with what Trevor said there either, that, Ten Hag is better off without him. How can you be better off without a player who scored 24 goals in a terrible team last season? He is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, goal scorers ever to have played the game. I believe that Erik ten Hag is a good enough coach to work out a way to accommodate Ronaldo and still play the type of high-intensity football that he wants to after pitching up at Old Trafford. And yeah, pre-season's gone okay. Martial's banged in some goals. Rashford looks like he's found a bit of form. Jadon Sancho seems to be back to somewhere near his best as well. But what happens in that first game of the season against Brighton? Martial starts up front, presumably Rashford probably on the left, Sancho on the right. Martial's hamstring goes after 10 minutes. There's no plan B. So unless Manchester United can find a 25-goal-a-season striker, and there aren't many out there, it's in their interest to keep Ronaldo at the football club, and not just, in my opinion, for commercial gain.
Crookie, I agree with you. If you've got a fully committed Cristiano Ronaldo, Erik ten Hag would want him in the squad. But forcing him to stay when he doesn't want to be there, you've got a Cristiano Ronaldo who could be, and I would presume with the power that he has and the influence that he has, he could be a poisonous person in that dressing room. Now, Erik ten Hag doesn't want that Cristiano Ronaldo. So either they saw it out where Cristiano Ronaldo's happy to stay and everyone can get along. But if that's not the case, why force him to stay? Because that could be a real recipe for disaster.
Look, it was a privilege to have him back in the Premier League last year. Really enjoyed commentating him on watching him. And he's been one of the stars of European football for the last 20 years. But he has massively overjudged his ability to be a sought-after commodity. And whoever's idea it was to float the story that he wanted to leave because Manchester United didn't get Champions League football, I'm afraid has completely failed to read the room, because everybody else in Europe is moving on to a more dynamic style of football. And if you can't fit into that, or you're unwilling to fit into that, then you're not going to get a job at a top club in the Champions League. And ultimately, he was part of that Manchester United team in that dressing room that didn't achieve what they set out to achieve last season. And he has to bear a little bit of responsibility for that, surely. And I think, I don't know if he's in danger of damaging his Manchester United legacy by behaving in this way, but ultimately it is not a good look for him, Crook.
I think he's already damaged that legacy, because this is the second time that he has tried to force a move from the football club. Obviously, first time round, you had the reassuring presence of Sir Alex Ferguson, and as a result of that, United were probably able to get one more season before he made that coveted move to Real Madrid. And to his credit, actually, Ronaldo continued to perform in that farewell season to a really high level. But he's come back to the football club. The narrative that was spun last summer was that he couldn't possibly pull on a Manchester City shirt because Manchester United as a football club meant too much to him. I've said before, and I'll say it again, that's absolute nonsense. The reason he didn't go to Manchester City is because Pep Guardiola didn't really want him. Had they have done, I think he would be a Manchester City player now. He'd be playing in the Champions League. He'd have another championship medal to hang around his neck, and he'd be quite happy. So let's not pretend that Cristiano Ronaldo does everything for the love of Manchester United, because if he truly loved this football club, he wouldn't be causing such a problem now at a crucial time when it comes to getting signings over the line. Again, I've said it before, Frankie de Jong, one of the attractions surely to coming to Manchester United is to play with Cristiano Ronaldo. If all of a sudden their star player is pushing for a move just when you're trying to negotiate your arrival, you're going to think twice. So I think he needs to stop now. He's been badly advised. He needs to get back to training, and if he truly loves this football club, he needs to try his best to be the focal point and get them back into the Champions League. Don't just
on the back of that, Crookie,
trouble.
Just on the back of that, Crookie, if this was Raheem Sterling, if this was Paul Pogba, I'd like to see what the newspapers and the media would be going on about, because for me, Cristiano Ronaldo is getting away with murder with the way that he's acting at Manchester United.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.